Good afternoon and welcome to KTN News Desk. My name is Chebet Birir, and in studio today we have Jeff Mogire and Peter Wakaba. Mogire will be informing us on what's happening in the world of sports, and Wakaba will tell us what's happening in the business field. Arab Emirates celebrates its Union Day in Nairobi, with Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi revealing that over 30,000 Kenyans are working there. And Starehe Boys in Nairobi marks its 65 years anniversary, boasting of unrivaled academic excellence over the years.
So I'm very pro-SHA, but we just need to make sure that the funds are managed properly.
Boost for SHA registration exercise as top medics and private hospitals in Nairobi back the new health scheme, saying it marks a major milestone for Kenyans. At least 30,000 Kenyans are currently living and working in United Arab Emirates. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who is always Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who is always Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary, says the Kenyan diaspora continues to grow owing to a memorandum of understanding signed in 2018 between the two countries. He said the Kenyans in UAE are making a significant contribution to the country's development through diaspora remittances and knowledge transfer, while also bridging the demand for labor in the UAE and Middle East. He affirmed Kenya's commitment to strengthen its partnership with the UAE towards a future defined by shared goals and deeper cooperation for the prosperity of the people of the UAE and Kenya.
Investor making visit to both countries and talk of various agreements are ongoing. And all that is for the growth of our economies, for enhancing life of our people and creating jobs and opportunity for the youth. Trade volume is growing to the new highs. UAE has become a top destination for Kenyan export.
Kenya and the United Arab Emirates established diplomatic relations in June 1982. Since then, the relationship has blossomed into a vibrant and mutually beneficial political, economic, and social partnership. Together, we have signed numerous agreements and cooperation frameworks that have fostered stronger economic and commercial ties, reinforcing our shared commitment to progress and development.
Suspects who are working in the disbanded Special Service Unit officers, a Kenya Wildlife officer, as well as a National Intelligence Service officer suspected of killing 2 Indian nationals and a Kenyan taxi driver will still remain in remand custody for another 13 days. Kiambu High Court Judge Lady Justice Abigail Mshila says she will make her ruling on 13th December on whether they have a case to answer. The 15 officers have been in police custody from November 2022 and are yet to take plea over murder charges leveled against them by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Through their defense counsels, led by Wandugi Karathe, Dunstan Omari, and Clinton Mwale, the suspects prayed to the court to have the 15 officers be released from remand
on bail,
saying,
in custody. Is this order issued on 21st of June 2024 committing them to be in custody up to this 2nd day of December? If not, my lady, those people are being held unlawfully.
The question that now we ask is, why are they concealing and why are they moving with underground moves as against the right of the accused persons?
Two Italian nationals facing 32 million shilling fraud charges in a Kilifi law court have reportedly proposed an out-of-court settlement with the complainants, who are fellow Italians, if they withdraw the case. In a letter dated November 28, 2024, Daniel Lokoko and Massimo Nativi, through their lawyer Kinyua Kamundi, addressed to the prosecuting counsel from the ODPP, Winnie Otieno, and copied to Ndegwa Njiri, the defense lawyer, saying they are willing to pay Rita Napo 8 million shillings in full and another 3 million shillings to Girola Florenzo if they both withdraw their criminal complaints and civil suit.
14 days cumulatively to file responses and submissions to the two applications, and the defense have briefed to file other or further affidavit if need be upon service.
Medics as well as private health hospitals are hopeful that the new medical health scheme will deliver the much-needed universal health care for Kenyans. The medical experts have therefore urged Kenyans to register in large numbers to benefit from the new scheme under Social Health Authority, SHA. Led by Dr. Imran Osman from Avenue Hospital, the medics backed the new health scheme, terming the current.
The SHA is actually an idea that will actually help us to save for healthcare. Now, if it is managed really well, even the chronic care fund is going to help the dialysis patient, is going to help accident victims and so on. So I'm very pro-SHA, but we just need to make sure that the funds are managed properly.
If you are unwell, it is unfair to tell you to go to town and get sorted there. So it is easier for us to deploy the SHA officials to the facilities, and especially the tertiary facilities, where they can be able to guide people immediately.
I think the idea of the government pulling resources together to help pay for healthcare, make healthcare more accessible, I think it's a noble idea. It's obviously having a lot of challenges currently, but it's something that in the long run, if we overcome these challenges, we'll have a much better healthcare system.
Starehe Boys Center is commemorating a remarkable milestone with the celebration of its 65th anniversary. The institution has been a cornerstone in providing quality education and transforming the lives of bright but underprivileged students across the country. The milestone highlights decades of impactful service, dedication, and commitment to empowering future leaders. Northern Corridor trade facilitators have decried numerous emerging health concerns that have been affecting mostly truck drivers plying the routes. While addressing stakeholders during the opening ceremony of regional conference held in Nairobi, Northern Corridor Transit and Transport Authority Executive Secretary John Deng asked stakeholders to apply a convergent system of operations to address these emerging trends.
Mobilize different stakeholders to focus on how to manage health-related issues as we engage in continuous business of transporting our cargo from the maritime port of Mombasa to the hinterland countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to highlight that we know that Northern Corridor is a multimodal mode of transport linking the maritime port of Mombasa with the hinterland countries.
So these are important health issues, and the corridor has a central and critical role to play in all this. But the corridor is not all about diseases. There is much more. The corridor is also an artery for cultural exchange, for trade and development, for economic development, for infrastructural development, for regional coordination, and even regional unity and solidarity.
And as the world marks the 16 days against gender-based violence, persons with disabilities continue to face significant marginalization within Kenya's justice system. However, women with hearing impairment are at the forefront of the battle in Kisumu County. KTN's Levis Musumba was there and filed this story.
Jane was born with hearing impairment. Despite this, the cruel hand of gender-based violence never spared her.
So in the middle of the night, someone sneaked into the house and tried to rape me. When my brother called my aunt said that, Lydia, you are lying. You always like talking to men around. That is not a serious issue.
In Kisumu County, the deaf community's exposure to gender-based violence creates what experts call double exclusion. This means that survivors face stigma, trauma, and communication barriers in accessing justice.
And because they're not able to communicate, deaf members are saying, we can't even explain the violation that has taken place. And from that end only, it means that we have already, one would say, tarnished the documents that are necessary for the deaf person to be able to get their justice.
To address these barriers, the Chanuka Deaf Women Group, supported by civil society's organization network through the Embassy of Netherlands and UNDP Amkenwa Kenya project, has trained over 300 deaf women to be paralegals. Lydia Acheng is one of them.
We sensitize our deaf friends so that they know a referral pathway. If a violation happens, where do they report to so that they can get justice?
In 2024, Kisumu locals recorded 22 gender-based violence cases. 20 of them involved defilement.
And I think what this project is trying to do is use Chanuka as a case study to be able to talk about what gaps exist amongst persons with disability who are unable to access justice, and how the other counties like Homa Bay and Vihiga and Kakamega can learn from what is happening with this organization and put in place strategies and mechanisms that can address that. And one of the things that the project is planning to do is to have a learning platform where these conversations that we're getting at community level is shared with the duty bearers, with a view to ensuring that they budget for them. First of all, they recognize that there's a gap. Second, they have to budget for them. And then they have got to be deliberate and intentional to go out and see how they can identify these groups and see how they can be funded without necessarily waiting for a development partner to do that.
The lack of sign language interpreters and specialized personnel in the justice system remain a major obstacle.
Because at the end of the day, the deaf person is the consumer of the language. So can a deaf person be there in the interviewing committee so then they can help identify an interpreter who can support them when they have cases at the courts?
Lydia's courage, together with other survivors of gender-based violence, inspire a call to action for all stakeholders to address violence. It also pushes for the championing of inclusivity, addressing issues around stigma while leaving no one behind. For KTN News, I'm Levis Musumba.
Let's now take a short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Kisii County Women Representative Doris Aburi says she will be introducing a bill in the National Assembly to help deter gender-based violence. The bill, she says, seeks to amend the current Sexual Offences Act to make it more punitive to sexual offenders. Addressing chiefs and assistant chiefs from the county at Kereri Girls High School, the women rep disclosed that the bill had already gone through the first reading. According to her, the public will adequately be sensitized and involved through public participation. She decried sexual violence meted on the girl child, including defilement of people living with disabilities.
National public awareness. National, kila pahali. Tusiseme you are coming to Kisii, juu Kisii ndiko na gender-based violence. Migori, no. National, kuanzia kule upande wa Kwale, tuende Marsabit, tuingie kule Embu, tukuje Kisii, tuende Nyamira, every part uko Busia, tufanye national public awareness on these offenses, watu wajue ukifanya makosa ni nini unangojea hapo mbele.
Mambo ya migogoro ya kinyumbani, kwa sababu migogoro hii wakati mwingine huchangia kuwadhuru wale watoto hata wanapoenda shuleni, masomo yao hayawi sanifu ama hawawezi kufikia viwango vile ambavyo walitarajia. Kama mimi ni kielelezo chema cha uzuri wa wazazi kuwapeleka watoto na kuwasaidia kusoma pale shuleni vizuri.
Tumepanga seminars. Kama wiki hii ni seminars ya watoto wachanga kutoka kwa miaka 6 mpaka miaka 13. Kuanzia wiki ijayo 2 weeks wasichana na wavulana, seminar ya wiki 2 mpaka tarehe 28 ndio itaisha, yenye ya kufundisha youths wetu wajue inaendeleaje.
Starehe Boys Center is commemorating a remarkable milestone with the celebration of its 65th anniversary. The institution has been a cornerstone in providing quality education and transforming the lives of bright but underprivileged students across the country. The milestone highlights decades of impactful service, dedication, and commitment to empowering future leaders.
This year, as we celebrate 65 years of Starehe, we've been keen to ensure that we provide 65 new places for boys and girls at the girls' school and the boys' school. And so far, we've managed to raise 9 million. I know it's a far cry from where we are supposed to be, but it's one of those things that is a journey. We started with.
Starehe community has set up something called the Griffin Memorial Endowment Trust. This is actually a trust fund into which persons can invest sums of money, and those sums of money are not used. It's the income revenues or revenues that come from those capital sums that are used to run Starehe.
These 2 schools are run through charity and well-wishers, people who raise money to educate. That's how we were educated, through well-wishers. So we are trying to pay back to see that the alumni from both institutions can come together to raise funds, to have a perpetual.
So the mission is a philanthropic one, other than the fact that I'm having fun and an adventure of a lifetime. The idea is to raise 100 million for the Starehe schools, 50 million for 50, that guarantees 100 places in the Starehe schools in perpetuity. So 50 boys, 50 girls in the Starehe schools forever.
The government has completed a 10-day wildlife census in northern Kenya, counties of Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Isiolo, Samburu, Laikipia, and Marsabit. The exercise was led by Wildlife Research and Training Institute and covered over 65,000 square kilometers. According to the Institute's CEO, Dr. Patrick Omondi, the exercise was meant to capture the details of every animal in the wild from the smallest to the biggest. The preliminary report shows that the northern Kenya landscape hosts the second largest number of elephants within a population of over 7,000.
The results will help in planning for the conservancy. You know, when they are planning, they will know where wildlife is. We'll share these results with the conservancy manager.
We have a census like this. It helps us to, better have, it gives us a point of information that we can engage the communities, we can engage the partners through established ways like the county spatial plans.
And Kenya is already seen as a world leader in both understanding this wildlife and this biodiversity and in protecting it. And monitoring is a critical part of management. It's like monitoring blood pressure in a patient. A doctor can't manage your health if he doesn't have the vital statistics.
Residents of Bulapesa ward in the outskirts of Isiolo town held protests over bad roads and poor drainage in the area. According to the irate residents, the dilapidated roads have made, the dilapidated roads have been made worse due to poor drainage, making it difficult to access Isiolo town. Najma Abdi, a resident of Bulapesa, says the state of the road had become a nightmare and that the county government of Isiolo must move fast to repair them. The residents vowed to continue with the demos until the county government of Isiolo County heeds to their demands.
Lakini Bulapesa hakuna hata moja. Saizi tukiwa na msiba hatuna mahali ya kupitiza majeneza zetu. Juzi kuto tulikuwa na mazishi, watu walianguka na hili jeneza. Wamama hawanaanguka ndani, wazee wanaanguka. Hatuna barabara completely. Tuko na huzuni kubwa sana na hatujui nani wa kutusaidia. Tunahitaji haki yetu na ni lazima tupewe haki yetu.
Pale saidia maji pale. Kuna mali imechimbuka maji. Nayo wangejua venye wanaweza tengeneza hiyo maji kuliko iteremke hivyo. Ikipita hata na watoto nini hakuna usafi hata Bulapesa. Naona ingine yenye naweza sema ya mwisho, ujinga inaishinga hapa Bula, kutekwa nyara, unatekwa hata mchana unapata kabisa unanyongewa chini, unashindwa sasa ni nini.
The Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital has started earning the benefits of a 227 kilowatt peak KWP solar system after it saved about 1 million shillings in power bills in its first month of use. The grid solar power project is implemented as part of the Solar Hospital Innovation for Energy Leasing Demonstrator SHIELD project, spearheaded by Oxford University Associate Professor Jacob McKnight. The SHIELD project, the SHIELD project, supported by innovative UK's Energy Catalyst program, aims to address unreliable and expensive energy in public hospitals across Africa. Meru Health Executive Gikunda Mungania said the hospital was saving up to 1.2 million shillings after operationalization of the project. He said the Meru Hospital has been spending up to 3 million shillings every month on power bills alone. Professor McKnight also said the hospitals also stands to earn top dollar from energy attributes as certificates in the carbon market.
Today you have seen that we have launched a mega project on solarization. Now, Meru Hospital, this level 5 hospital, has been using about 3 million shillings every month. So if you calculate that, is more than 36 million every year, which is a big percentage on their budget.
We will invest in healthcare in Meru with a value of 538 million Kenya shillings. That money goes to prevent HIV, and for those who have HIV, to do treatment, providing comprehensive care in 77 facilities. In those 77 facilities, we have staff that we pay their monthly salaries to support the county government, but also we provide equipment.
And we're here today to celebrate the opening of Meru Level 5 solar system, which was supported by the Energy Catalyst program and the UK government, and will be providing energy to this hospital to help reduce their bills and help them have consistent power, consistent clean power, to do the many activities that they undertake here.
Climate change is very real. It is, I would say in very simple language, it is the contamination of the ozone layer by what they call gases. They are gases that are emitted that make change in the ozone layer, and therefore it allows a lot of sunlight to come into the world, and therefore temperatures have been rising. And it is a fact that the whole world is trying to address this. So how does this hospital then contribute to the welfare of the world is by using alternative, sustainable energy sources. And therefore, solar energy being one of them that has been installed here, I think the hospital will contribute a lot towards that area.
Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has been honored with the Mizani Africa Top Trusted Leadership Award 2024 for his exemplary commitment to education and community development. Renowned for spearheading transformative projects in schools and public spaces, the MP was honored for consistently prioritizing and creating lasting impact for his constituents through initiatives aimed at equipping schools with essential infrastructure and empowering communities.
Another 25 this holiday, and even this holiday again through CDF, all these things, we are also having another 65 projects ongoing in Kiharu, either in security or in education. And you know, sometimes we cherry pick. I would request, and I'm happy majority of the MP's colleagues have been to Kiharu. The photos you see on social media are real. Last time I was meeting, maybe those who we share social media platforms, I went to Kiharu on Monday last week. I was meeting the teams that will be implementing the projects we are doing in December. The head teachers were telling me, like a school called Mudigiriri Primary, that people are having weddings, they are going for photo shooting in our primary schools. And for me, that is very important. And for me, the pinnacle of leadership is not about the cars we drive. It is about the decisions we make to impact society now and in the future. And there is no other better route than education. And that is why it is very primary in the decisions that we make.
Thank you for staying tuned on KTN News Desk. We'll take another short break, and after the break, we'll have Peter Wakaba with the business news.